I don't know who needs to hear this, but if your breathing is non-optimal or even dysfunctional, you're going to find it very hard to do everything. So you can change the diet, you can fix your sleep, you can improve your relationships, you can manage your environment, but the undercurrent to all of those things is your human biology. It's how your body is running. Does it have energy being delivered to cells? Am I removing waste? Is my body fighting this uphill battle? Because the delivery of oxygen so that our cells can produce energy and the removal of that metabolic waste and clearance is 100% dependent and reliant on the way that you're breathing. And so a lot of people might look to breathing kind of as this, oh yeah, we can kind of tweak that, but it is literally the foundation of health in your body because of the flow-on effects. And let's kind of like zoom in on a few of those just as an example, right? When I begin to breathe better, and let's just say that's full diaphragm range of motion at an optimal respiratory rate and using optimal biomechanics, the flow-on effect of that, right? First, let's look at the diaphragm, right? The diaphragm has three big holes in it: the esophagus, gastrointestinal system, the inferior vena cava, your cardiovascular system, and the thoracic duct, your lymphatic system. Is it a coincidence that the diaphragm has three big holes? No, it's not, right? Your diaphragm is designed as a pump. And so when it moves through its full range of motion, it is influencing blood flow, lymphatic flow, and digestion, right? So the simple act of using my diaphragm as it's designed is no longer just about breathing. It's about, the three arguably most important systems in your body now functioning to a better degree, more efficiently, right? With less kind of wasted energy of your body trying to pick up the slack because perhaps your diaphragm isn't doing its job. Now, what happens when we optimize that range of motion? We start breathing more biomechanically optimum. So let's say the diaphragm is now moving. I simply need to take less breaths per minute now because I'm optimizing gas exchange, right? When the diaphragm comes down, we draw the oxygen into the lower lobes of the lungs. This is where we have the vast majority of blood flow. And so we've now optimized the ability of my body to extract oxygen from the air and to remove carbon dioxide from the body. I simply need to breathe less times per minute. But that's just not, oh cool, I've got a lower number. What does that do, right? So we continue down this kind of flow-on effect. When I take less breaths per minute, my heart beats less times per minute, right? And so we know when resting heart rate starts to come down, we're taking some strain or load off the cardiovascular system, right? I take less breaths, my heart beats less time, my blood pressure comes down. All of a sudden, I'm starting to again optimize the state of my cardiovascular system. And finally, if we think about optimal biomechanics, right, when I'm breathing into the lower part of my rib cage, where I'm designed to expand, where all of that blood flow is, where all of the alveoli are most dense, and I'm not breathing up into the chest and the shoulders, well, now I've got a different stimulus to my nervous system, right? When we breathe up into this more vertical or apical pattern, right, this is kind of where the sympathetic nervous system has more of these nerve trunks. When I breathe down low into this part of my body, right, the viscera, the organs, the diaphragm, this is where more of my parasympathetic nervous system can be activated, right? And so when I'm breathing up here, I'm kind of putting that foot on the accelerator, and I'm breathing 25,000 times every day, right? So even if it's just a little bit not so good, times that 22,000, how's your body going to respond? So again, I want to zoom back and think of this simple idea of by improving my breathing, all of a sudden, I've had a positive impact on my digestion and gastrointestinal system, my heart rate, blood pressure, cardiovascular system, and my lymphatic system, which is, the primary waste removal system of my body, houses the immune system, very critical system that's often overlooked. And so one little, investment of fixing my breathing and the return on investment is threefold, right? I didn't just get better at breathing, I got better at living. My body got better at functioning. And so when we start to look at why is breathing so powerful, we want to understand not just breathing as a standalone independent system in your body. It is an integrated aspect of all of the other systems, right? Your nervous system, cardiovascular system, postural or musculoskeletal system, digestive, right? Neurological, really the list goes on. And so my passion is really to get people understanding that breathing isn't about breathing, right? Breathing is a tool that we can use to optimize the state of the body. And when your body, right, is working at its optimum, you've got this kind of surplus of energy, right? And that energy can go to positive intention, mood, feeling enthusiastic, appreciating the joys of life, right? Instead of, my body's barely just scraping by, right? Because of oxygen delivery, removal of waste, the things we've talked about in this short video. And so I don't have the surplus of energy to feel good, to have that positive outlook, because my body's just surviving, right? So if you find yourself trapped in that loop of like, well, I don't feel good, I can't feel good, perhaps, right? Perhaps there is an undercurrent here of dysfunctional breathing that is leading to non-optimal states, cardiovascular, lymphatic, digestive, neurological, right? And the output of that, is you don't feel so good, or you don't have energy, or you have no tolerance to exercise, or you can't sleep well, or you're snappy and reactive, right? It's not to say that, breathing's causing all those things, but if your body's just scraping by, if your body's just surviving, then it doesn't have a lot of resources to dedicate to you thriving, right? And so really just thinking about that integrated look at all the systems in the body, and breathing being the one that kind of links a lot of those systems.